Hello again. Well, another African American made a comment on MVI 3145, Dorian Johnson, federal witness, what a joke. And she wrote, wow, racism is still alive in the USA. Well, he has been acquitted by man, but God knows both their souls. Human life is important, and it's amazing how some white folks feel we are nothing. Well, let's sort of take a look at that. God knows both their souls. Well, so do we. We saw Michael Brown strong-arming the little store owner. We saw Michael Brown boosting the cigars. And according to the pathology report, he had marijuana in his body. We also saw Officer Darren Wilson with the beatdown that he received. Now, what I went ahead and I did, and I focused in on, wow, racism is alive in the USA. And you know what? The viewers actually 100% correct. So what I did is I went and I looked up the definition of racism. Racism consists of both prejudice and discrimination based in social perceptions of biological differences between peoples. It often takes the form of social actions, practices, or beliefs, or political systems that are considered different races to be ranked as inherently superior or inferior to each other based on presumed shared inheritable traits, abilities, or qualities. Now, why is the definition applied in one direction? What do we know about the chosen one? Well, we know he went to Reverend Wright's Liberation Church for 20 years. Where they taught what? Well, they taught hatred towards whom? Well, towards the whites. So, is that not racism? I mean, how is it not? How is it not racism when they sit there and claim that we're racists, when in fact they are the racists? They are the ones that are the racists. No different than Barack Hussein Obama, who once again spent 20 years listening to Reverend Wright. God damn America! They're taught that all whites are evil. They're taught to hate us. They're no different than what Muslims are taught. The difference is, in Reverend Wright's church, they don't suggest that they go out and slaughter us. Maybe they do. I don't know. I've never been to any of his sermons. But what I do know is when people like this African American wrote what she did, it's racism in reverse. That's exactly what it is. The definition is crystal clear. Racism consists of both prejudice and discrimination based in social perceptions of biological differences between peoples. So when Reverend Wright is spewing his hatred to his congregation about whites, is that not racism? I'm inclined to think so. Yeah. It explains why the Attorney General Eric H. Holder loves attacking people like Officer Darren Wilson. But if he really cared about the African community, and if their lives to him were really worthy, wouldn't he exert an effort to protect them? I'm inclined to think so. How about you? Now, as far as this viewer is concerned, I'm not going to block her. She didn't swear at me. She didn't insult me. She just stated her opinion. The problem is, her opinion is based on her having been brainwashed. And that's the fundamental problem that's going on in all of our schools, in our universities. Why? Because 70% of educators are whacked out, misinformed Democrats. What do you think would happen if a black professor at Harvard or Yale or any university told their students about the formation of the Ku Klux Klan? Who did it? Who was responsible for it? What do you think would happen if those professors told their students that one of the largest slave owners in America was black? What do you think would happen if those professors explained to the students what most probably don't even know about the Jim Crow laws? Who implemented them? Which party created them? What do you think would happen if those students learned how dead set the Democratic Party was against immigration in the 20s and 30s? What do you think would happen if Obama was exposed for being what he is, which is a usurper with a forged birth certificate, with someone else's social security number? People might not know this, but the SSI number that you have, no one else will ever have that. So you have to sort of wonder how Obama has somebody else's from Connecticut when he never visited Connecticut back when he was a crackhead on the beaches of Hawaii, giving head for blow, or blowing for blow, whatever he was doing. It's absolutely insane that so few people know the truth or care to learn the truth. What do you think would happen if the American people woke up and realized how their country is being destroyed by a radical, extremist, homosexual, Arab, Muslim? Lastly, what do you think would happen if the black community knew what Arabs did for a living? They traded in African slaves. And for the most part, they still do. Interesting, is it not? So now what are you going to do about all this new gained knowledge? Anything or nothing?